Now let's create a controller to add new categories. Here we have the template for controllers with views. Let's say category. We have our DB context class here. Let's add it. It will take some time. Let's add the category on our layout view. Let's say as categories and index and categories. Let's add a new category. Let's say name. Let's say, and let's create a vehicle. The model state's not valid. The name is valid, but the product, the subkey is invalid. This is why we have view models. We don't want to pollute our entities with these implementations, like to have just validations in forms. Let's say categories again. Let's create a new, let's say vehicle. Create. Model state now is valid because the product list can be null. And here we have a category for vehicle. Let's create a new category for toys. Let's say toys. And now we have a product. Let's create a new product. But here we must have a drop down to select our category for the product. Let's do that. Let's go. Let's close others. Let's go to products. Now we want to have our select list. Let's get our categories in the database. Categories. Let's say context category to list. And now we want a view bag with the categories select. Let's say new select list. And here the first parameter is the list of items. The second parameter is the value of data field. And the third parameter is the text name, which is name. The categories, this name will be displayed and the value of our option will be our ID. Let's go to the create view. Go to view. Let's copy this tag helper. Let's say category ID. Let's have a select here with the asked for category ID. Category ID. Let's say the items is as items. And here we have our view back. And let's copy from here. Category select. And as default value, we can say link select one category. Let's start our application and see if it's working. Here we have our dropdown, but it's not really styled. Let's say class form control. Let's reload. See the name, we can say CB Twister, which is my motorcycle. Let's say 80,000. And let's the category, let's say vehicle. Here, this is why we have view models. We don't want to have the data annotations in our product entity. So we would have the data annotations with all validations and all the treatment that it needs. But as this is just a relational entity framework example, let's just ignore it. But if you add it, let's create it, you see that the model state is invalid. Let's see which, here we have the category because category cannot be null. So let's say category can be null now. Let's go to products. Let's fill the form with the same values. And if we hit create, now the model state is valid and we added our product. But we have to add a new column here to see the category. Let's go to the index. Let's say the display name for category. And this display for is for category dot name. Let's reload our application. But now you see that my category, my navigation property is null. How to solve this in code? To include our navigation property, in this case, the category object, we must include the property that we want, which is category. By default, Entity Framework does not eager load our navigation properties. Imagine if we want a list of categories and this category has, I don't know what, 2000 products. Imagine if we load this list with, I don't know, 1,000 of categories and each category has 1,000 of products. Imagine if we load this at once. The user would be waiting for a long time and a not useful long time because we just want to see the products when we select a category. And the same thing here. We want to include the category of our products and then list it. So here, this is like an inner join. Let's start our project. And now you see the category property, the category entity is filled with my category ID relation to that register. And this is enough for this one-to-many lecture. See you again in the next lecture.